shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream, fast as lightning, it's a dream. Speed and drama every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be, join the race, watch and see.
Under the light, the engines roar. SKR, it's time to soar. Trains ignite, but pressure's high. We race the edge, we touch the sky. Tires burn, the world's a blur. Victory calls, but it's unsure. Sundays at 6, where the league begins. Oh yeah, highs and lows, where we chase all wins. Through the curves, through the fight, SKR, we own the night. The night. Rain comes down, the track turns wild. Split second moves, adrenaline's child. Podium dreams, they come and go. Fast and fierce, it's all we know. Yellow flow flags, heartbreaks near, but we push on, we have no fear. Sundays at 6, where the league begins. Oh yeah, highs and lows, where we chase all wins. Through the curves, through the fight, SKR, we own the night. We own the night. The night. We own the night. Ooh, right. The night. Rain comes down, the track turns wild. Split second moves, adrenaline's child. Podium dreams, they come and go. Fast and fierce, it's all we know. Yellow flow flags, heartbreaks near, but we push on, we have no fear. Sundays at 6, where the league begins. Oh yeah, highs and lows, where we chase all wins. Through the curves, through the fight, SKR, we own the night. 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 We own the night.
Bajo luces de neón y gritos de motores, ella es la guardiana, sueños de velocidad. Con school y vuelo alienígena en la casa, es la calma en la tormenta, nuestra guía sin igual. André a su lado, leal y fuerte, su amor ha corrido desde siempre. Pero la hermandad guarda en su pecho, con cada risa su amor es derecho. Oh, Death Queen, corazón en el confín. Oh Death Queen, sombras en júbilo, eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Será tímida, pero no es orgullo. Mira sus Julian en el de tumulto. Mira el silencio, ruge en la pista. En cada circuito, en cada conquista. Desde giros de medianoche al alba primera, ella está ahí sosteniendo la bandera. Ningún choque profundo, ninguna curva ancla. Con su espíritu subimos, subimos la cima. Oh, Death Queen, corazón del clan. Con cada lágrima levanta los miedos, arrasa el plan. Su voz suave, tu luz sin fin, alfombrosa por reina en el confín. Oh Death Queen, sombras en júbilo, eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Solo una fan, nacida de un legado. En tormentas de F1 su calor nos ha guiado. Feroz e invisible, manteniendo la línea. Por siempre monarca, nuestra Death Queen divina. Oh Death Queen, corazón del clan. Con cada lágrima levanta los miedos, arrasa el plan. Su voz suave, tu luz sin fin, alfombrosa por reina en el confín. Oh Death Queen, sombras en júbilo, eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Sí, oh Death Queen, eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Can't hide. ZFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing ever calls it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin. A champion crowned, a season's knife. Broadcast the roar, the passion, the pain. An NFR is in the storm and the rain. ZFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing ever calls it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin.
Sundays at 6, the engines ignite. SKR League under stadium lights. Rubber burns, the tarmac's a canvas. Twists and turns where the brave find madness. Throttle pinned, the needle don't lie. Chasing the horizon, kissing the sky. Podium dreams, champagne in the mist. But crash in the gravel, that's the devil's twist. Checkered flag or shattered hope. Grip the wheel and learn to cope. SKR, where legends collide. Fast lanes, heartbreaks, no place to hide. From pole to pit, we're chasing the stars. It's glory or guts in the SKR. Draft in shadows, the apex calls. calls. One mistake and the whole dream stalls. Pit stop prayers, tires slick with wear. Crew hands steady, precision in the air. Highs like Monaco, lows like Monterey. Speed's a religion, the track's our domain. Six-gear symphony, engines that scream. The glory's a gamble, it's never serene. Checkered flag or shattered hope, grip the wheel and learn to cope. SKR, where legends collide. Fast lanes, heartbreaks, no place to hide. From pole to pit, we're chasing the stars. It's glory or guts in the SKR. Trapped in shadows, the apex calls. One mistake and the whole dream stalls. Pit stop prayers, tires slick with wear. Crew hands steady, precision in the air. Highs like Monaco, lows like Monterey. Speed's a religion, the track's our domain. Six-gear symphony, engines that scream. But glory's a gamble, it's never serene. SKR, where legends collide. Fast lanes, heartbreaks, no place to hide. From pole to pit, we're chasing the stars. It's glory or guts in the SKR. Trapped in shadows, the apex calls. One mistake and the whole dream stalls. Pit stop prayers, tires slick with wear. Crew hands steady, precision in the air. Highs like Monaco, lows like Monterey. Speed's a religion, the track's our domain. Six-gear symphony, engines that scream. But glory's a gamble, it's never serene. Checkered flag or shattered hope, grip the wheel and learn to cope.
Sick people on a Sunday clock. Engines scream like hearts that talk. Rubber burns on asphalt veins. Speed and hope and tire stains. High so high they touch the sky. Low so low they scrape goodbye. SKR Sundays, where dreams collide and break away. SKR Sundays, the wheel spins fast, the heart betray. Checkered flags and broken wings, a league of kings, but no crown clings. Sweat and steel and fractured pride. Through the relapse of war we ride. SKR Sundays, where dreams collide and break away. Yeah. SKR Sundays, the wheel spins fast, the heart betray. Checkered flags and broken wings, a league of kings, but no crown claims. Sweat and steel and fractured pride. Every lapse of war we ride. SKR Sundays, where speed to God we kneel and pray. Yeah. SKR Sundays, glory whispers face to gray. Positional fleeing throne, a crash can make it all unknown. F1 highs like stars make blaze, lows like shadows in the haze. Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR. The rubber burns, feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. And now Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene in the crowd must be as keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Under the light, the engines roar. SKR, it's time to soar. Trains ignite, the pressure's high. We race the edge, we touch the sky. Tires burn, the world's a blur. Victory calls, but it's unsure. Sundays at 6, where the league begins. Oh yeah, highs and lows, where we chase all wins. Through the curves, through the fight, SKR, we own the night. The night. Rain comes down, the track turns wild. Split second moves, adrenaline child. Podium dreams, they come and go. Fast and fierce, it's all we know. Yellow flow flags, heartbreaks near, but we push on, we have no fear. Sundays at 6, where the league begins. Oh yeah, highs and lows, where we chase all wins. Through the curves, through the fight, SKR, we own the night. We own the night. The night. We own the night. Ooh, right. The night. Rain comes down, the track turns wild. Split second moves, adrenaline's child. Podium dreams, they come and go. Fast and fierce, it's all we know. Yellow flow flags, heartbreaks near, but we push on, we have no fear. Sundays at 6, where the league begins. Oh yeah, highs and lows, where we chase all wins. Through the curves, through the fight, SKR, we own the night. 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 We own the night.
Bajo luces de neón y gritos de motores, ella es la guardiana, sueños de velocidad. Con school y vuelo alienígena en la casa, es la calma en la tormenta, nuestra guía sin igual. André a su lado, leal y fuerte, su amor ha corrido desde siempre. Pero la hermandad guarda en su pecho, con cada risa su amor es derecho. Oh, Death Queen, corazón del clan, con cada lágrima levanta los miedos, arrasa el plan. Su voz suave, tu luz sin fin, alfombrosa por reina en el confín. Oh, Death Queen, sombras en júbilo, eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Será tímida, pero no es orgullo. Mira su school y hambre en el del tumulto. Mira el silencio, ruge en la pista, en cada circuito, en cada conquista. Giros de medianoche al alba primera, ella está ahí sosteniendo la bandera. Ningún choque profundo, ninguna curva entra. Con su espíritu subimos la cima. Oh, Death Queen, corazón del clan. Con cada lágrima levanta los miedos, arrasa el plan. Su voz suave, tu luz sin fin, alfombrosa por reina en el confín. Oh, Death Queen, sombras en júbilo. Eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Solo una fan, nacida de un legado. En tormentas de F1 su calor nos ha guiado. Feroz e invisible, manteniendo la línea. Por siempre monarca, nuestra Death Queen divina. Oh, Death Queen, corazón del clan. Con cada lágrima levanta los miedos, arrasa el plan. Su voz suave, tu luz sin fin, alfombrosa por reina en el confín. Oh, Death Queen, sombras en júbilo. Eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación. Sí, oh, Death Queen, eres la reina de nuestro equipo de simulación.
Engines scream, the lights go out. First corner, chaos, drivers shout. Rubber burns, dreams collide. Victory's close, but so's the slide. ZFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing ever calls it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin. Tight chicane, the air is thin. Rain falls hard, who's gonna spin? Tensions rise, the clock ticks fast. Glory's fleeting, it never lasts. Front wings flying, broken pride, but hope still roars, you can't hide. ZFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing ever calls it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SKR on a Sunday night. And night it is. We're back to the original night circuit. Of course, when introduced to the calendar, the only night circuit on the calendar, Singapore, made for something quite different, something quite spectacular. Since then, it has become a much more common trend. Of course, before Singapore introduced their night race to the Formula One calendar, MotoGP got a night race that is at the circuit you know as Qatar, originally built for MotoGP. was their first night race and remains their only night race on the calendar. Speaking of night races, a certain circuit has become fully installed with floodlights, FIA Grade 1 approved floodlights, and that is Sepang in Malaysia. Who knows? I know a lot of drivers enjoyed that circuit, would love to see it make a return. Wouldn't it be even more spectacular under lights? .9 kilometer circuit, really unique when it came out, really wide for the time, high-speed street circuit. I say for the time because at the time it was compared to Monaco, and that's exactly what it was. It was a high-speed street circuit, but compared to the street circuits that have been added in recent time, well, they're not that quick here in Singapore. It's a 4.9 kilometer circuit, but it's a Grand Prix that if you get a number of safety cars, or if, oh God forbid, if rain comes to the event, it's probably the worst time rain can hit is in a night race. Because a lot of our other night races are in the Middle East, so the drivers don't technically have to worry about rain very often. Here in Singapore it is a possibility, and if rain falls under the lights, well, it makes for tricky conditions. Not only grip-wise, but visually. Some of the drivers now coming over the line to start what will be their first timed lap. Busy race circuit. One where it's so easy to trip over each other in qualifying. We've got Skull in the comment section. Hello there, Skull. Good to have you on the stream and in the lobby. Do we have him in the lobby? Yes, we do. There he is. He's in the pits. No lap time. No lap time from anyone. Skulk goes 29.7. That's the first lap time we've seen this evening. Then a 29.8 for Virus, so just a tenth between the first two timed drivers. Percival goes over the line 132.3, good enough for P3 briefly. Then Andre up into P3, 130.2. Top Gun 130.3. Time's now starting to fill in nicely. Waiting for a couple of lap time. Let me see if I can invite Skull. Just going to mute for a moment. I shall be back. And there we go, I have sent the invite. He should be able to join now. That means it will take us up to 18 drivers. While we were away, Big T went up into provisional pole with a 28.3 and his teammate 28.7. The Red Bull all front row as things stand. Then we've got SPM. I'm told his name is indeed Skulk. We have two Skulks out on circuit. I'll call them Alpine Skulk and Williams Skulk. Still a few drivers looking for their first lap time. Skull, who's just joined the lobby. He's already out on circuit. Got Cooper, Still no lap time, remains in the pits. Then we've got Spikes and Captain Slow, no lap time, but they are on timed laps as we speak. We've had one retirement. That retirement, Percival, 132.3, was at the rear of the field. And I fear he's going to stay there. He's retired early, and that's the only lap he's got to show for himself. You're riding with Skull. Of course, joining a little later than he would have wanted, and we were riding with Skull. Now we're just looking at Skull. He will promptly return to the pits, get that front wing repaired, and have another go. That's what happens when you join the lobby late. You just miss that first run. A whole lot more pressure falls onto the second run. You get that one wrong as well. And then it's all to play for in the final 10 minutes. So he'll want to get back to the pits as quickly as possible. Get rid of that wing. Goes a little bit against Skull's qualifying, his usual qualifying strategy of doing multiple laps with a heavier fuel load in the car. He's not going to be able to do that tonight. It's going to have to be about pure pace. Out lap, quick lap, in lap. Going to have the time he usually has in qualifying. Top Gun on an out lap. Looking for an improvement on that 1 minute 30. Harsh Cartoon in the pits, 30.7. Last of the timed drivers. Got Percival behind him, but that car has retired. Skull in the pits. Still needs a lap time for the evening. Cooper on an out lap. Hasn't been able to secure an out lap, a timed lap until now. Very easy to invalidate on this circuit when you're trying to use all of the tarmac, all of the track available to you, and you use a little bit too much, get a little bit greedy, looking for the extra tenth. Ends up costing you the entire lap. Looking at Pantry Star, that's the other Kicksalver, one of them struggling to get a lap on the board. The other one has put a lap on the board, and it's not a bad lap at all. 29.2, good enough for P4. But look at those two ahead. Big T, 28.3 in a league of his own. The only man close, 28.7. That is Wheeze. A gap between the teammates. The gap Wheeze will be looking to close. The Smurf, currently P9, 29.7 on an out lap. This is Virus, 29.8. Andre just outside the top 10 now in P11, 30.2 on an out lap, looking for an improvement. I don't think the guys really want to start in that midfield here in Singapore. Things can get messy. Probably want to be closer to the front or closer to the rear, really. Being up there, 9, 10, 11 could get messy. But we want to get to a slightly less populated part of the grid. Still waiting for lap times from Cooper, and is that a broken Red Bull? That is a broken Red Bull. The entire right-hand side of the front wing is missing. That's the quickest man on circuit at this stage, 28.3. Look to go out there and find something more, obviously on the absolute edge. And that's why it's a street circuit. In some places, there is no runoff area or second chances. Fortunately for him, he was able to keep all four wheels on the car, which means he'll be able to get back to the pits, put on a fresh set of tyres and have another go. Retirement would mean to sit until the end of qualifying defenseless and hope that nobody can take that time away from him. This is Skulk Spam or Alpine Skulk, whichever you want to call him, 28.9, currently in P3. Best of the rest, the only drivers ahead of him, ridiculously quick Red Bull team. The Sugar Bear. Currently in P6, 29.4. Times they're in the midfield, relatively close. The times are at the front, 28.0 for Wheeze. Look at that. Goes quicker. 28.0. Previous best was a 28.3. We weren't sure if we were going to see anything quicker than that benchmark. Big T went out to look for something more. We saw he crashed that Red Bull. His teammate did not. His teammate kept the Red Bull intact, brought it over the line, and found a lot of time. I think it was about 7 tenths he found on that run. 28.0. Throws the gauntlet down to his teammate. Teammate will be in the pits. Will have changed that front wing. With new rubber on the car. Drain any unnecessary fuel from the car. Make everything as quick as possible. And he's going to go out there and have to find at least 3.5 tenths if he wants to take pole position back from his teammate. But I think Wheeze still has the time to have another run. Skull was able to get over the line and set a lap time. That was the driver who joined the lobby last. Didn't get his first run right. Pressure started to mount, but he has got that lap time done at 29.9. Good enough for P11. Looking at spikes. Driver now currently in P3. Took over that position from Skulk Spam. Now it's McLaren in P3. Red Bull, McLaren. Usually it's the other way around. There's 2 McLarens and 1 Red Bull. Wouldn't Red Bull love to see that? 2 Red Bulls at the top of the field. It's been a long, long time. This Levy, currently in P6 with a 29.4. Getting more and more drivers now slipping into the 28s. There's 4 of them, 28.0, 28.3, 28.7, 28.9. The top 4 drivers separated by just under a second. A massive gap to have in qualifying. Captain Slow. Not sure why any race driver would agree to this name, even if it's a nickname. A lot of drivers now in the pits. Just over 3.5 minutes remaining in the session. This will be what I was talking about. If you were running any extra fuel in any capacity, this is when you strip that fuel. Strip the car down to its absolute minimum weight. Put in a fresh set of soft tires. And just throw absolutely everything at it. Fortunately for us, you do not get red flags in qualifying in the game. You're also not going to get yellow flags. That mean drivers can't set their laps. Here in Singapore, there's always a risk of someone getting it wrong on that final run. When they're on the absolute edge. Back at the front. Wheeze, quickest man in the field, 28.0, was P2 after the first runs. Then for the second run, his teammate got it all wrong. Destroyed his front wing, had to return to the pits without a lap time. Wheeze got it all right, found 7 tenths of a second to put him up to a 28.0. Told his teammate, come and get me. Spike still best of the rest. Does not trust he's going to stay there, because he's already on the pit exit looking to go and defend that lap. Maybe look to get closer to those Red Bulls or even split those Red Bulls. Speaking of the Red Bulls, they're both out on circuit. They're both on and out lap. Everyone out on circuit at this point except for Top Gun. 15 drivers out on the track. We lost Percival very early on in the session. We'll see him again in the race. He'll be starting from the rear of the field. This is Wheeze. Current provisional pole sitter, 28.0, looking for something more. And what could something more look like? Well, he's looking for a 27 of some kind. Is there a 27? Time will tell. Sector 1, what does he come up with in Sector 1? And he's under. He's under his previous best. Very nicely done. Under it. I think that was just over a 10th. 28.0, looking for something better. This is his teammate. Going slowly, just winding up for a lap of his own. We also have Skulk Spam on a lap, Pantry Star, Smurf, Levy, Sugar Bear, Virus, Busy, Race Circuit, Skulk on an out lap, Skull on a timed lap. Only Top Gun has remained in the pits. Obviously Diddy's running out of sync with everybody else, didn't have time to go out for that final run. Wheeze through Sector 2, still quicker than his previous run. He was a 10th quicker in Sector 1, he was a 10th quicker in Sector 2. And if he's able to bring the rest of the lap together, we should be looking at a 27. We'll find out soon enough as he goes around the final corner. Over the line, and 27 indeed. 27.895. Over to you, Big T. This is the second Red Bull doing everything it can to get closer to his teammate and to beat his teammate. For second run did not go according to plan, lost his entire front wing. So it's going to come down to this. 28.3 is his time. Time to beat a 27.8. Half a second. Half a second is what's required. Now in the closing stages of the lap, Sector 3, let's see what can be done around the final corner. Big T stays committed, does he? Uses too much on the exit. He just knew the lap time wasn't there and didn't keep us anticipating all the way to the line. This is Spikes going around the final corner himself, currently in P4, looking to improve, and he does. 28.5. Skulk Spam went up into P3 and Spikes promptly took it back. 28.5 for the McLaren. Getting close to that second Red Bull. I said he might split the Red Bulls. Got close to splitting the Red Bulls. Who else is out on track? We still have Sugar Bear out on circuit. Approaching the final corner himself. I think this is the final driver out on circuit. He's chosen not to go around the final corner and into the pits. Well, as soon as that car gets rolled in, qualifying will be over. What a qualifying session that was. We got a 27.8, folks. Big T didn't get the second run right when we joined him for the third run. So he gave up that lap time around the final corner, so no improvement must have been on the cards. Qualifying is all fun and games. Get turn one wrong, and all of that could mean absolutely nothing. Now go to the results. Wheeze, pole position, Big T, P2, the two Red Bulls lining up on the front row. Then Spikes, P3. Skulk Spam, P4, Pantry Star, P5, Levy, P6, Sugar Bear, P7, then Smurf, the other Skulk, and Virus make up the top 10. Not in the top 10 with a bit of work to do. Andre, P11, followed by Skull, Cooper, Top Gun, Captain Slow, Harsh Cartoon. And going from the rear of the field, P17. It's Percival. Good evening as well to Anita. I didn't see her message there in the comment section until now. And now, very familiar empty pit lane. All the cars to the right hand side of your screen, they're doing their final preparations, making their final choices, their final decisions. What tyre will you start on, and what do you anticipate from these early laps? Of course, earlier this afternoon, Max Verstappen took a gamble from P2, decided to go with the soft tyre, expecting to maybe get a good start and be able to pull away at least in the initial laps. Of course, that plan did not go according to plan. In fact, wasn't able to fire up those soft tyres, and the medium was the far better choice. As well to Dixie Killer in the comment section. See the little green lights in the background. That means everyone's away for a formation lap. We have a direct translation of pace from qualifying pace to race pace. Well, then these two Red Bulls look quite superior, but we've seen many times before that it doesn't always translate to race pace. Driver might be a few tenths quicker than you every lap, but if you're able to stay within DRS for a prolonged period of time, you just see those drivers stay together. The nature of the circuit. We don't have safety cars. Over time, things might get a little boring. Welcome to Fury. What I saw was the N in the Fury. I thought it was Nick Fury for a second, but it's not Nick Fury. Or is it Nick Fury? Going for Skulk Spam. SPM as he appears on the screen. He's going to be going from P4. Remember, he took P3 in the closing stages of qualifying, and then just moments later, Spikes took P3 back from him. Starting in P4. Oh, so close to starting in P3. We now wait for the 5 red lights. Not the best camera angle, but it will get better when the 5 red lights do eventually come on. You know the drill, they'll come on one by one until we get to 5. Then there'll be a pause. They'll go off. And we'll be underway. Red Bull versus Red Bull into turn 1. McLaren in P3. What's going to happen here into turn 1? I was going to say single file, but that is not the case. The two Red Bulls almost rubbing wheels, and then a McLaren into the back of Big T. Those two seem to have sorted out their positions again. But Wheeze, what a fantastic start. Absolutely ideal for the lead Red Bull driver. After just a few corners, already breaking DRS. Just over a second the gap. Then Spikes in P3, followed by Skulk Spam or SPM. Then Pantry Star P5, Smurf P6, Levy P7, Virus P8. Skull, he's already made up a few positions. I think he started outside the top 10s. Now in P9, Sugar Bear P10. Andre's gone backwards, started in P11 down to P13, so a lot of work to do for the drivers at the rear of the field. As for Wheeze, needs to keep that gap above a second. If it drops below a second, well, he's just giving himself extra work. Leads the way. Then it does drop below a second, 9/10 of a second. That means DRS will come into play for his teammate. And if we do get a full-length race between these two Red Bulls, I tell you it's going to be a good one. Squeeze over the line. With the purple lap, those lap times will come down as the race goes on, as the grip gets, rather, as the tires get lighter and as they put on new tires later on in the race. You can see no sign of the soft compound. Nobody deciding to go with that soft tire. Obviously not much life in that tire. Nobody putting much trust in it. The two leaders, the two Red Bulls. Well, that is a sign of confidence. Not only are the Red Bulls P1 and P2, two Red Bulls have decided to start on the hard compound, everyone behind them on the medium. And remember, that just means you have the disadvantage at the start of the race. It's actually a bit of a double disadvantage. Not only do you have the heavy car at the start of the race, you also have the slowest compound of tire. What that means later on in the race, when the car is feeling a lot more light, when the car is feeling a lot more nimble, you're also going to have fresh tires and a softer compound than everyone around you. So in a one-stop race, those are usually the two options available. Go for the softer compound, hoping for a good start, hoping to make up positions or open up a gap. Would you go with the hard compound? Do all the hard work in the first stint and get to enjoy that car for the second. Look at Spikes, look at Spikes, look at Spikes. Goes up the inside. Fantastic helicopter shot as Spikes does split the Red Bulls. Said the possibility of him splitting the Red Bulls, but that was in qualifying. In the race, he has done enough to get past Big T. And now the McLaren up into P2. Let's have a look at that second Red Bull. It's helicopter shot right now, so we can't get a good look at the Red Bull. We should close in on that Red Bull soon. Probably now going to give me a really long helicopter shot, isn't it? I want to have a look at the front wing of that Red Bull. Was there any sort of damage? His teammate has checked out at the front. 3.5 seconds at the front. 3.4 to be exact. There is Big T. All in a second adrift from Spikes already. Is there something wrong with the Red Bull? And there we go. There's your answer. There is something very wrong with the Red Bull. Unlike in real life, where the drivers were able to drive around with broken end plates this afternoon, in the game, the broken end plate can make that car go from drivable to very undrivable. So, the second Red Bull, one of the favorites for the race victory, has to come into the pits out of sync, breaking the strategy that he had in mind. And with that pit stop coming so early on in the race, means he's going to fall right to the rear of the field, P14, as he emerges from the pits. That's how quickly fortunes can change. Might be super quick in qualifying. Simple mistake in the race. Might not even be your mistake. Every time you go wheel to wheel on a street circuit, there's always the element of risk. And on a circuit like Singapore, where downforce is so critical, any piece of carbon fiber that goes missing makes that car not much fun to drive. This is Pantry Star, 1:33.4, sets the fastest lap of the race. Man now promoted to P3, enjoying the clean air ahead of him. We might be having one or two internet dips. I'm just looking at my internet speed and it's worryingly low. So if you're experiencing buffering on your side, I do apologize. I recommend you rewind maybe a lap or two, and that should fix your viewing experience. Hopefully the internet does sort itself out. Wheeze still leads the way. Spikes still in P2. Then Pantry Star. Murph in P4, Levy P5, look at Skull P6. Been quietly making up positions, getting his way through the field, making overtakes, as well as having some of the drivers around him making mistakes. Brought him up into P6. Fantastic result for Salva so far. We've got a caution in Sector 1. And if I'm not mistaken, that caution in Sector 1 has just become a full course safety car. So now the pit lane is going to go from very, very quiet to very, very busy. Full course safety car on lap 6 of 31. Said this can be one of the longest races on the calendar if you get multiple safety cars, and we've already got one lap 6. This will bring the entire field close together again. Another thing it does is it reduces the risk of cars being lapped, you having to deal with traffic later on in the race. But if you're one of the leaders, this is terrible. Because you had Wheeze at the front of the field, he was opening up the gap, he was checking out, he was getting into his groove with the circuit, and then all of a sudden, safety car throws you off. Now he's still got the speed to win the race, and we know he's got the overtaking abilities to get back to the front. There's always that risk. Every time there's a restart, every time there's an overtake to be made, there's a risk attached to it. And when you were cleanly 4 seconds up the road, those are some risks you didn't really need. We have a Mercedes ghosting, it appears. Wheeze has been able to clear that Mercedes. So Wheeze picks up a position, goes up into P5. Some of the damage. He's got 4 drivers ahead of him, and all 4 of those drivers yet to pit. They may be in P5, but provisionally he's in the lead. Has left 2 of those drivers. You can see the drivers in P1 and 2. That's Lebby and Virus. They stayed out, held on to track position with those hard tires. Obviously had an idea of taking those hard tires much further, so they've stayed out, held on to track position. 2 drivers behind them, Andre and Captain Slow, 3 and 4. Well, they've done the same thing, but they have a little bit of a problem. Andre's held on to track position, Captain Slow's held on to track position, but they've done so on medium tires. When we do get this restart going, they're not going to be able to go as long as everyone around them. The internet on my side doing all things it should not be doing, so if you can hear me, apologies. And like I said, it is a safety car right now, so you won't be missing too much action. And rewind maybe by a lap or two, and that would fix your viewing experience. And of course, if you're watching the stream after the live broadcast, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, because after the live broadcast you don't see the buffering. Safety car will be in this lap, so it was not a long safety car. Not going to wait for that Alpine at the rear of the field. It's going to get going. So SPM, unfortunately for him, came into the pits, thought he could join the back of that queue. He's not going to be able to join the back of that queue. He's going to be pushing, giving it everything to get as close to the queue as he possibly can. But the leaders, they're getting ready for the restart. Levy, it's the race restart responsibilities. There we go, gets going. Virus P2, Andre P3. And the Williams of Captain Slow in P5. Then the man I call the provisional leader of the race. That's because everyone in front of him needs to make a pit stop. We's currently in P4. You see Captain Slow there, the Williams just squirming on the exit, looking for the grip, trying to get those mediums up to temperature. And the whole while, We's getting closer and closer, breathing down his neck. Slow picked up what I believe is his second penalty of the evening. That'll take him up to 6 penalties. Just have a look. There we go. 6 seconds. 6 penalties. Can you imagine? That would be disastrous. 6 seconds. Captain Slow down to P7. We're looking at Andre. Actually made up a position. Spikes has made a mistake. Or has he? Someone made a mistake. How did Andre get up into P3? Levy leads. Virus P2. Then it's Andre. He's sitting comfortably. Currently in P4. But he knows all of these cars need to pit. Doesn't want to sit behind Andre too much longer. He knows it's on aging mediums. Don't get the best camera angle of it, but we go up the inside, then we see the corner exit, and clearly the Red Bull made the overtake. Levy leads. Fury saying, just here to support, don't even know what's going on. Well, let's join us for more streams then. Levy leads the way, Virus P2, then Wheeze, Andre P4, Spikes P5, Pantry Star 6, Smurf P7. Sugar Bear in P8. Oh, and my internet is dropping to scary levels. In fact, somehow it briefly hit 0. There's a spin, another spin. A man that from qualifying suggested he was one of the favorites for the race. Things have not gone according to plan. Initial run of the evening put him up into provisional pole, then his teammate took that away from him, came out to improve, broke a wing, tried to improve again, wasn't able to complete the lap. And in the race, it's just been bad luck. A bit of a recovery, and then another slap of bad luck. The big T, P15, got the pace, he's got the overtaking abilities. Hopefully he doesn't have any damage. 10 seconds. Just keeps piling on. It just keeps piling on. Big T, he's called it a day. He came into the pits, got a 10-second penalty for speeding. Here, DNF in the pits. So that is the end of the second Red Bull. One more car eliminated in this race. We don't have to worry about a safety car because he did so in the pits. There is no stranded car on the circuit. Race will continue. Lap 10 of 31. Weeze leads the way from Spikes. Beginning of the race, Spikes would be thinking he's going to have his hands full with 2 Red Bulls. One of those Red Bulls has fallen out of the equation completely. Now Spikes versus Weeze. 1.1 seconds is the gap. That's a crucial gap because it's just over DRS. Levy also outside DRS, 1.4 seconds adrift from Spikes, and then Pantry Star challenging for a podium position. We've got a caution in Sector 2, and immediately, full course safety car. Now, of course, if you're familiar with the channel, if you've watched many races on this channel, you'll know about the glitch in the game. There on the top left-hand side of your screen right now, it should say safety car in yellow. It doesn't. It says caution in Sector 2. So how do I know it's a safety car? Bottom right-hand side of your screen, see the track map completely lit up in yellow. And you can see the little yellow dot. They're in Sector 1. That is a full course safety car. Each and every time you get one of these safety cars, gives everybody at the back of the field another opportunity, a second chance, get away with a pit stop, maybe get away with a 10-second penalty that you need to serve in the pits, get away with a broken wing, whatever the case may be, gives you a chance. For example, there SPM at the rear of the field, he's 13.5 seconds away from the next driver. So under normal racing speed, he'd have to close that 13.5 second gap, which is a massive gap, and then still have the tires to do the overtakes. But under the safety car, well, that will completely eliminate that gap. It'll still start from P15, but right in the tire marks of Cooper. So if your race isn't going well or you're at the back, safety car equals fantastic. If you're in the front, it's just disruptive. It's just annoying. And you just want to get on with it. And just see some of the drivers. Well, I only see 2 of them. 3 of them. Actually, no, just 2 of them in the field. I think Pantry Star has figured that out. There we go, he has. Some of the drivers, you'll just look at their battery levels under the safety car, and you realize they haven't switched off that battery. Absolutely no need to use battery under safety car. You can switch that off, get it back to 100%, get it fully charged. Get all ready for yet another go. You can see the entire field is together. There's 2 cars trailing at the rear of the field. They'll be pushing as hard as they can to catch the rear of this queue. That's the Alpine of SPM and the Salba of Skull, 14 and 15 currently in the race. Of course, like I've mentioned in previous streams, if there's anyone you want to watch, let me know in the comment section. Anyone I've missed, anyone you're supporting and you'd like to see their car a little bit more in specific, let me know in the comment section, and we'll go down to that car and see how they're doing. Safety car will be in this lap. There's the notification at the top of your screen. That means at the end of this lap, safety car will peel off into the pit lane, and we'll be back up to racing speed, hopefully this time for a prolonged period of time. So it's not Nick Fury, it's Nine-Tailed Fury. Nine-Tailed Fury. So if you're familiar with Marvel, that must be some alternate universe version of Nick Fury. Nine-Tails Fury. Back up to racing speed, as you can see. Wheeze, the race leader, 7/10 at the start, gets a good start. Spikes P2, then Pantry Star P3. Then we got the second McLaren earlier on in this race. It was one McLaren versus two Red Bulls. How things have changed. One Red Bull has fallen out of the race. The other McLaren finding its way to the top of the field. In the top four, one Red Bull, two McLarens. Pantry Star doing a fantastic job to stay in P3. Wasn't really one of the stars of qualifying, and he's made quiet progress throughout the race. Quietly got himself into P3, stayed out of trouble, stayed out of the pits. He's reaping the benefits of that now. Wee still leads the way, Spike still P2, the gap just over a second. Looking at the second McLaren, who's now starting to cause a roadblock. Virus, 12 lap old hard tyres. Got a lot of cars behind him. He's falling away from the podium positions. Pantry Star now 2.5 seconds up the road. As for Virus, look at the queue behind him. He's got a very angry Mercedes-Benz. Swarming left, swarming right. Wastes no time. And Smurf goes up into P4. Next up, the Ferrari of Sugar Bear. How long will he stay behind the McLaren? Is he going to go immediately? That is the view from the rear wing of Virus. Red Bull, rather the Ferrari of Sugar Bear, deciding to stay behind for one more corner. Of course, you don't want to be too patient, and the move simply never gets done. You make a mistake and your opponent drives down the road. You want to take the opportunity when it presents itself. You just don't want to be too ambitious. Cost you all the momentum you've made up in this race so far, or it cost you a race finish. The alternate universe version of Nick Fury. Nine-Tails Fury. I have no idea what that character would look like. Actually distracting me from commentary. Nine-Tails Fury. You can tell why I'm a commentator. I speak so much rubbish. You can tell why I'm not a very good driver, because all of these things are running through my head while I'm driving. Why I'll probably crash out of most of my races. Wheeze leads the way, 1.4 seconds is the gap. Spikes doing all he can to stay with the Red Bull. Fortunately, but no DRS to help him. He's on the same set of tyres as the driver ahead, same age. He's really got no advantages, no benefits. If he wants to catch Wheeze, the only way he can catch Wheeze is on raw pace. Can't rely on superior grip. There is none. But what he can rely on is more safety cars. I saw a caution. I thought we had another safety car. We do not have another safety car. You can see the track map on the right-hand side. Just a sector there lit up in yellow. The rest of the circuit still in green. Means we are still under racing conditions, but we have lost a car. One of the Selbers. Skull. Comes the third retirement. down to 14 drivers. We still have a caution in Sector 2, and that has now been cleared. Rees leads the way, 1.6 seconds. Pantry Star P3, Smurf P4, Levy P5. Second McLaren falling down the order. At one stage looked like we might have two McLarens on the podium. Didn't notice the age of the tyres. I assure you the driver notices the age of those tyres. 15 lap old hards. And just did not have the tools available to him to defend those positions. Simply fell down the order like a stone. Cole looking very annoyed in the comment section. Cole saying if he gets nudged by another driver, he will switch formulas to GT racing. Well, drivers can nudge you there too. Most difficult scenario. This is Singapore, one of the street circuits on the calendar. I've just noticed something, but I'll mention it in a second. One of the street circuits on the calendar. Of course, there's plenty close barriers. We've had several restarts, and as I've mentioned, every time there's a restart, there's an element of risk. There's a chance of an incident, a chance of a retirement. And I didn't mention it earlier, and I'm going to mention it now. If you're a Death Queen, you're not very happy right now. Not only did Skull retire one lap ago, he didn't trigger a safety car, but Andre made sure that that household would trigger a safety car as he's retired the very next lap. We're down to 13 runners. And every single time we start to think this race is going in one direction, safety car comes out, forces everyone into the pits. Some will stay out and hold on to track position. Others will come into the pits and have a roll of the dice. You call that a gamble. Every time we start to see something starting to make sense in the order, safety car comes and jumbles it up. And will you look at that? It's an Aston Martin 1-2. The driver who was rather annoyed this afternoon was Oscar Piastri. That's why teams shouldn't play games with drivers, switching positions for silly reasons. Then they start to expect it all the time, and when they don't get it, they don't seem too impressed. Fortunately for that McLaren team, no damage coming from that wheel-to-wheel action. The only damage that did come was to Lando Norris's end plate. That was not as a result of hitting his teammate. That was actually as a result of going into the back of Max Verstappen. Lap 18 of 31. 13 drivers remain from the 17 that began this race. 17 took on the challenge, only 13 remain. What we can do while we're under safety car is let's just bring up your calendar. Of course, that is the SKR calendar you're looking at. Round 3, that's where we are. 5th of October, Singapore. And then next week, Next week we'll be in Shanghai. And next week is a Sunday with a bit of a difference. Next week's a sprint race. Reminder of how those work. Instead of the qualifying session you saw earlier, where everybody's got 18 minutes to set the best lap time possible, on a sprint weekend, you get what's called a one-lap qualifying session. Means you just get one shot at it. You've got to set a lap on one attempt. We then jump into a sprint race, which is a shortened version of what you're looking at. We then have a second qualifying session, also just one lap, and that'll determine the field for the feature race, or the main race. Comes up to almost the same amount of time. It's about 10 minutes longer at the end of the night. But think of it as, instead of qualifying and then a feature race, think of it as a fun race and then a feature race. Thanks to Death Queen. Remember, if you're new to the channel, if it's your first visit, remember to subscribe so you can see all of our uploads. Of course, we're doing this now 3 times a week. SKR on a Sunday, SAFRL on a Tuesday night at 8. And we're doing Red Line Racing as well on a Thursday night at 8. So a busy schedule for the next couple of weeks on NFR. If I don't talk enough rubbish, well, the race keeps throwing safety cars at me, and I need to fill time. Levy leads, 8-lap old mediums. What the condition of those mediums will be at the race restart, and will he be able to do much to defend that lead? And of course, if you watch today's Singapore Grand Prix, you'll know that Max Verstappen didn't lead a single lap of the race, which means the record still stands. Max Verstappen has only led 3 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix throughout his entire career. You know a driver by the name of Antonio Giovinazzi? Well, he's led 4 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix, and if you don't know his name, well, I don't blame you. Some knew him as Italian Jesus. Still under safety car conditions. But now we do see the safety car pulling off into the distance. That means Levy will take responsibility of this race start. He's going to wait for the safety car to peel off into the pit. Then Levy will temporarily become the safety car. He decides when to restart the race. He decides when to go. He could go now. He could go right before the line. He decides to go now. Over the line. Does he get the jump on the rest of the field? Gets a decent start, but I wouldn't call it a jump. Half a second lead into turn 1 for Levy. Captain Slow P2, followed by Cooper, and then Wheeze in P4. Of course, we know Wheeze has got a lot of pace. He's been leading a majority of this race, and he's just picked up a position, gets past Spikes, and up to P3. P3, did I say P3? Well, he's made up another position. Wheeze up into P2. Wasting absolutely no time. This is a combination of raw speed and much, much fresher tires to the cars around him. So not only does he have his own speed advantage, he's getting a lot of assistance from his tires. Wheeze P2, Levy P1, but for how much longer? Ninetails asking how long the safety car stays. Well, it depends from track to track, really. if the field is already together and already in a queue, you might have a situation where safety car only lasts 2 laps, but usually I think it will give it a maximum of 3 laps, and if that queue isn't together, well, that'll be the end of the safety car. So I'd say take it on 2 or 3 laps, depending on how far out the field is spread. If the field is close together, it's probably going to be a short one. If the field is heavily spread out, probably going to be 3 laps. Levy still leads the way. I said he led the way, but for how much longer? We're soon going to find out. That Red Bull couldn't get any closer without making contact. And now opens up DRS, and there's going to be absolutely nothing the Aston Martin could have done. Superior grip, DRS, probably battery assistance, and Wee's back into the lead of the race. Showing his dominance and making that P1 very much his own. Wee's, Levy, Spikes, that is still your top 3, and for the time being that looks like a comfortable top 3 because Spikes has a nice lead on Cooper. Cooper almost 3 seconds back. Ooh, that's very tight. Very tight with an with a Sauber. Green, and I want to say Aston Martin. Pantrastar and Cooper almost coming together. Pantrastar's probably going to be a little annoyed there. Wanted to make the move, didn't make the move, and now he's been passed by a Mercedes. And that is just messy. That is awfully, awfully messy, and we got it on camera. It happens. All of these drivers, all human, they all make mistakes. None of them want to end a race in that fashion. It happens sometimes when you're pushing on aging tires. You expect the grip to be there, it's not there. And all you can ask yourself afterwards was, what was I thinking? After that retirement from Smurf means we're just down to 12 runners. Of course, the top 10 take points home tonight. You're unfortunately P11 or P12, where you're going to be the only ones left out of the points scoring party. If you're in the comment section and you're watching, well, probably leave your message in the comment section. I'm going to see it better that way. Somebody is WhatsApping me and they will be ignored until the end of the broadcast. Because if I do look at my phone, I get easily distracted. I might just have 5 minutes of complete silence. Spikes. P2, and look at the battery level. Look at the battery level. I wonder if he just left that on, forgot it was on. Don't think Spikes would do something like that. He's a really good driver, really experienced driver, but that's something I have done in the past in the cockpit. Look down, see a drained battery, and realize I've left overtake on for the duration of a lap. Well, he's ran that battery all the way down to single digits. It does take quite some time to build that up again. Not as difficult as it was on previous games. We're able to get that battery charged up within a couple of laps. See, that's exactly what he's doing, charging up that battery. We saw it get to 0. Now already back into the 30s. Problem with that is when you are harvesting and when you are charging up the battery, you're also losing time. Saying SD climbed up to P6. Well, I have an update. He's now in P5. This is the driver we're speaking of. The pink Alpine. Just I thought the pink cars would disappear from the grid when Racing Point rebranded to Aston Martin. Of course, the pink BWT Racing Point cars became Aston Martin. Thought we would lose the pink car. So the BWT sponsor took its name and its pinkness to Alpine, and we kept the pink car. See the Alpine just getting a little messy on the exit. Looked like the rear tyre might have just hissed the wall. So be oh so careful. 9-lap-old mediums. SPM will be hoping for another safety car before the end of the race so that he can get a pit stop. It's a little bit out of sync with the drivers around him. 9-lap-old medium tyres. Maybe up the road on 13-lap-old medium tyres, so suggests SPM should be able to go to the end without pitting. Those tyres won't be in great nick if he does so. He still leads the way, 2.8 seconds, continues to grow the gap. Spike's doing everything he can to stay with him. And while he's not able to do quite enough to stay with the Red Bull, he's doing more than enough to stay ahead of third place. 8.4 seconds the gap. Huge difference between P1 and P2 and the rest of the field. Levy does have that P3 for now, but it's definitely not a comfortable one. Just behind him is Virus. But earlier in the race we might have a double McLaren podium, and then Virus fell away. Well, he's right back up there in P4. That's what multiple safety cars does. Every time you see the race going in one direction, it can come in, stir the pot, and throw everything on its head. The only thing that hasn't been on its head is Wheeze leading the race. We've had a collision. Was that Wheeze? Was that Virus? That was Virus. I think it was Virus. I think that was a McLaren we saw going sideways. That was after some rubbing of tyres. Let's call it that. Wheeze leads the way, Spikes P2, then Lebby, then SPM. That's your top four, Sugar Bear in P5, and he's right behind that Alpine, so he's still got a chance of P4. SPM still got a chance of a podium. So while at the front things are quiet, Wheeze leads the way by 2 seconds. Spikes is very much in a race of his own. This is the race to watch, the race for P3. Lebby just up the road, 4 tenths, then a further 3 tenths. Got a DRS train behind him. He could have a third place for Aston Martin, Alpine, or Ferrari. At the rear of the field, this is Cooper, the only remaining Mercedes. The other Mercedes has retired. That was Smurf, so no points on the night for Mercedes if things remain this way. Captain Slow, the other car outside the points, in P11. Telling you, you need to change that name. Success in F1 will not come with that nickname. Some will upgrade their wheel, some will take driving courses. My recommendation to Captain Slow is get rid of the word slow in your name. It's just not right. Harsh Cartoon in making it a lot more common that he finishes in the points. Not making any headlines just yet, not stealing podiums, not stealing victories. This is one of the drivers that you've seen his momentum, you've seen his improvement from season to season. Just getting higher up the field, small steps. But a man who was once quite commonly at the rear of the field is now very much a midfield driver. Perfect place to be in, really, when you're just getting faster and faster from race to race, from season to season. Gives you that motivation, gives you the motivation to get on the controller or jump in the rig and keep on practicing, because you can see the time coming. When you're at the rear of the field and all the practice you do doesn't seem to find you any time, that's when you lose motivation. As long as you're finding motivation and going up the right way in the timesheets, just makes you practice even more. 27 of 31. We are almost in the time period where we can't get any more safety cars. That will be lap 29 of 31. After lap 29 we can have no more safety cars, but we are still at risk of one more. Weeze will be praying for no safety car. Few other drivers in the field wouldn't mind one. And now SPM in the Alpine gets up into P3. I think Lebby must have made an error. Lebby down to P5 now and a second adrift from Sugar Bear. They lost position and lost a lot of momentum, and that means the Alpine up into P3. Nowhere near the top two. But I think he would love to come home with a podium today. In a race that not so long ago, I don't think he would have predicted a podium. Pick up the pace, Spikes. That is the words from the comment section. Those are not my words. Do not DM me after the race complaining about my commentary, because, well, you shall be ignored. Weeze leads the way. 2 seconds. Either Weeze has backed off and is just managing his pace, or those mediums are going away from him. Spikes is maintaining that gap. He's not closing it, but he's maintaining it. Actually just come below the 2 second mark. 1.9 seconds now the gap. Find a lot of time if he's going to get up to terms with Weeze. 1.6 seconds now the gap. He is closing. I wonder if those mediums on the Red Bull have just fallen off a cliff, or if this is Weeze just having a little bit of fun at the end of the race. 1.5 seconds is the gap. If Weeze is losing this amount of time, it's going to be in trouble at the end. Now 1.6. Keep your eyes on that gap. SPM in P3, but it's still not secure. He's got a Ferrari just behind him. 0.3 of a second is the gap. Not make the move into turn one. Thought better of it. Like I mentioned earlier on in the stream, you need to take those opportunities when they present themselves. You also need to have the knowledge of some of those which present themselves are not realistic. You don't want to do a dive bomb. Don't want to drive into another driver, destroy your race as well as his. You can't just wait for a gap. You need to wait for a gap you know you can get through. Tails asking if it's possible for SPM to win the race. Well, anything is possible at this stage, but he is 15 seconds adrift from the man in P2 and a further 1.5 seconds behind the leader. That would make him approximately 17 seconds off the lead. So if Weeze and Spikes were to have a catastrophic end to the race, SPM could maybe close that gap, but as things stand, looks like P3 would be his best result. Say best result, because he still has a Ferrari trailing him, looking to take that P3 away. Spikes continues to close the gap ever so slowly. If there were a few more laps to go, another 5 laps to go, very possible that we could have had a very, very close end to the race, but it looks like those mediums are going to do just enough for Wheeze. 1.3 seconds, the leaders in the same frame after 30 laps. Back to the battle for P3. You've got to keep our eyes on the battle for P1 because it's about to drop below a second, and we've got to keep our eyes on the battle for P3. Podium positions far from decided here this evening. And now, within a second, we go from the battle for P3 to the battle for the lead. Lap 30 of 31. Wheeze has led this race for a majority of the race and for most of that time with a comfortable gap. That gap came down to a second. I wonder if he just turned up the wick or if Spikes made some sort of error. Look at that, 1.8 seconds. Spikes leaves the session. And that is unfortunate. So unfortunate. Not going to be enough time for SPM to catch him. But Spikes, I think that is obviously an internet-related issue. Spikes leaves the session. That means... you can see there that car just ghosting. Means basically an AI is controlling that car for the time being. It's going a lot slower than it would be going in the arms of Spikes. Luckily for him, I think that lead was big enough to maintain that second place, and I think he might be able to hold on to that second place because the disconnect happened so late in the race. Of course, I leave that one down to the stewards. That disconnection did happen on the last lap of the race, and that ghost car should come home in second place rather, so I think Spikes will hold on to that P2. As for SPM, you'll see the time coming down, and if he's not listening to the stream, he's probably not even going to know why. Maybe thinks the driver up the road has had an incident coming down, but not fast enough. Where is Wheeze? He's going around the final corner. Wheeze takes victory here in Singapore. Round 3, round 13 of SKR. Second over the line is Spikes in that ghost car. I'm almost certain he'll be able to hold on to that position. Then SPM, what a drive. The pink Alpine over the line. Take the final podium spot, followed closely by Sugar Bear, Pantry Star. There is Skulk coming through, then Virus. Now we'll have a bit of a break. We wait for Harsh Cartoon. He was 11 seconds adrift. He comes into the final corner now. It's right here at the rear of the field where the cars were really spread out. We had a lot of action at the front of the field. Captain Slow, we wait for him. Just 11 drivers are going to go on to finish this race. 6 retirements. It's a tough race circuit. Actually, just 10. 10 cars will finish this race. Means everyone who did get to the line is going to go home with a point. And another crazy podium celebration. Race winner, Wheeze. Your fastest lap, Wheeze. Driver of the day goes to Captain Slow. Most overtakes to Harsh Cartoon. And cleanest driver goes to Harsh Cartoon. Running through your results, just the 10 finishes. Those 10 finishes, Wheeze for Red Bull, also the fastest lap, takes the victory. Spikes P2. Then SPM P3, Sugar Bear P4, Pantry Star P5. You got Skulk in P6, Virus P7, Harsh Cartoon P8, Captain Slow P9, and Top Gun will take home the final point. Retirements, there's quite the list. Lebby, Cooper, Smurf, Andre, Skull, Big T, and the first to go, Percival. I love saying that name. Percival. There we go, folks. Season 13, round 3. Oh, good. It's on the side of the screen. I wasn't sure if I was getting that right. There we go. Season 13, round 3. So that's the end of that. I hope everybody enjoyed that stream. Everybody enjoyed the race. It was a typical Singapore race. Lots of stoppages, lots of safety cars. Fortunately, rain did not fall. That would be the last thing any of the drivers would have needed in a very eventful and dramatic filled race already. Of course, we'll have a look at the calendar one more time. 5th of October, Singapore. That has come to an end. That was round 3. We'll be back next week, round 4, Shanghai. Remember, it's a sprint race, so a slightly different format. Comes up to about the same amount of time. But long before Sunday, I will see you on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for SAFRL Season 13, Round 3. And then again on Thursday night, 8 p.m. for Season 2, Round 2 of Red Line Racing. Of course, saw 1 or 2 new names here in the comment section, so I hope you subscribe and I hope to see you here again. For all of you that show up each and every single time and support the stream, support your drivers, it was great to have you. And I hope to see you all on Tuesday. Till next time, enjoy a little bit of music. And cheers.
Wheel to wheel, fight for life. A champion crowned, season's knife. Broadcast the roar, the passion, the pain. An NFR is in the storm and the rain. NFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing ever goes round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting. The viewers return. Let the madness begin.
Sundays at 6, the engines ignite. SKR League under stadium lights. Rubber burns, the tarmac's the canvas. Twists and turns where the brave find madness. Throttle pinned, the needle don't lie. Chasing the horizon, kissing the sky. Podium dreams, champagne in the mist. But crash in the gravel, that's the devil's twist. Checkered flag or shattered hope. Grip the wheel and learn to cope. SKR, where legends collide. Fast lanes, heartbreaks, no place to hide. From pole to pit, we're chasing the stars. It's glory or guts in the SKR. Draft in shadows, the apex calls. One mistake and the whole dream stalls. Pit stop prayers, tires slick with wear. Crew hands steady, precision in the air. Highs like Monaco, lows like Monterey. Speed's a religion, the track's our domain. 6-gear symphony, engines that scream. But glory's a gamble, it's never serene. Checkered flag or shattered hope. Grip the wheel and learn to cope. SKR, where legends collide. Fast lanes, heartbreaks, no place to hide. From pole to pit, we're chasing the stars. It's glory or guts in the SKR. Trapped in shadows, the apex calls. One mistake and the whole dream stalls. Pit stop prayers, tires slick with wear. Crew hands steady, precision in the air. Highs like Monaco, lows like Monterey. Speed's a religion, the track's our domain. 6-gear symphony, engines that scream. But glory's a gamble, it's never serene.
It's a joke. A joke. You have to leave a space. All the time you have to leave a space. GP2 engine. GP2. Ah!
You've got a fire burning deep inside, a spark
spark in the dark where your dreams collide. They'll tell you to stop, say the road's too long, but your heart keeps beating to a rebel song. Take a step, don't look below. Every scar's a story, only you will know. The weight of the world can't break your stride. You're carving your name where the stars reside. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. The ground may shake, but your roots run deep. Every fall you take is a promise you keep. The doubters will fade, their voices will break, 'cause your soul's on fire and it's yours to take. Run through the rain, chase the endless fight. Every dream you claim lights a spark in the night. The horizon's calling, it's yours to claim. A warrior's heart with a fearless flame. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. Stand tall when the thunder roars, break the locks, kick down the doors. Every step is a battle won, your story's just begun. Oh, let it soar, forevermore, forevermore. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. So keep on climbing, don't ever slow. The stars are waiting where the brave ones go. You'll rise to the sky. Yeah, you'll rise to the sky. A legend in the making till the end of time.